Life can change incredibly quickly. You see a perceived green light that is red, and you could end up with a broken hip. Healthcare is incredibly expensive, and luckily I got connected with the Aggie Network and I was able to get some assistance. I'm incredibly grateful for that. I'm from Hooks, Texas, less than 2,000 people. When I got to college, I felt like there was something out there more that I needed to do to make the world a better place. I got into fraternity Sigma Pi, and that's when I really started to understand what my place was and what I really wanted to do with my life, and that was to serve college students in whatever capacity that was. I really felt like Texas A&M was going to be the move for me. Luckily enough, I was accepted into the doctoral program. I was able to fulfill a dream of becoming an Aggie. It was a pretty normal March morning. I turned on a Texas Avenue and looked at the stoplight, believed that I saw green, and evidently it was red. And I passed through and hit another vehicle. And thankfully, I was the only one that was injured through that. And I immediately called 911, and a few minutes later, an ambulance came through and they were like, "Hey, can you move?" I tried to move my right leg and it wasn't going anywhere. My hip had been dislocated and the ball of my femur actually crushed the backside of my ball joint. And then they explained they had to do an ORIF procedure, put some titanium to reform the ball joint so that the bone could heal back together and I could have a ball joint again and walk. It was never the physical pain. I think the thing that got me the most was the uncertainty of whether or not I'd be able to walk again, if I would be able to run again, if I'd be able to cycle again, if I'd be able to work out or do anything that I'd been doing. A goal that I had was I really wanted to ride a 100-mile bike ride, but after the accident I knew that wasn't going to be able to happen. And I started to reevaluate my goals and decided to do the Tri-Aggie-Land triathlon. When I spoke with my doctor, I mentioned doing a triathlon. He said he wasn't a huge fan of the idea, but I knew that I could do it, and I was going to do it. I actually signed up for it 3 weeks before and started training immediately. It was honestly probably one of the most gratifying moments to walk past that finish line, knowing that 4 months earlier I couldn't walk. As one can imagine, anything that is associated with healthcare is incredibly expensive, and while healthcare will cover a significant amount of it, there's still residual costs. And so the fund provided by the Association of Former Students really was incredibly helpful to mitigate some of that hardship. I'm incredibly grateful that that resource is available to students like me and others. The impact of this grant and this fund is going to allow me to be the professional, the professor, the voice of change in higher education that needs to be there to make it better.